Welcome everyone to our tour of the renovation project that was completed recently at the Shaare Zedek. And so we're at the main entrance and we're going to walk through and you be the judge. And I hope you're as impressed as I was. Welcome. This is a very proud moment in my life and a very proud moment for the Shaare Zedek. Phase 1 of the renovation project has been completed. We had a $2 million campaign. Thus far we've raised $1.75 million, which is a good number, but still need to raise money. So anyone who's out there and after this tour of what we've done sees what we've actually accomplished and wants to get a hold of me or the synagogue, be happy to chat with anybody. But I think you'll all be very pleased with what you see. So without any further ado, Divine Hall, which is really our main hall for serving most of our fairs. You'll see that, the flooring is redone. The ceilings are redone, the skylights, some of them were removed. We've redone them. All of the lighting has been updated. It's very modern. When we rebuilt this divider, we took out the old wood panels, which were broken and creaky. We put in these modern glass dividers. But we also raised the height of this railing because the railing that was here was not up to code. It was too low and it was actually dangerous. So, and one other thing is this glass will give us probably more soundproofing than what we had in the past. But the biggest change, is what some of the things you don't see is the new air conditioning system. You don't see all the asbestos that we had to pull out of the ceiling. But if you come into the kitchen, it basically doubled in size. This allowed us to have a meat section and a dairy section, big double freezer, got a state-of-the-art industrial dishwasher which does dishes in about 15 minutes instead of 2 hours. We've got an industrial hood. It's going to really make it easier to have affairs up here. Here's the women's washroom that's been here since 1960. Put in fresh tile sink. Put in a baby changer. One of the things we did to get more space is you'll see a wall of filing cabinets. This used to be where all the papers and files, etc., were stored. So it's a little working area. I'm not going to bring you in here because it's a little bit cluttered, but we decided when we remodeled, and you'll see the new bathrooms downstairs, we moved the cantor's office upstairs. So the cantor's office used to be an unfinished toy room. So now it's a functional cantor's office, and we have a second smaller office for meetings, whether it's executives of the synagogue or anybody who needs a place to sit and have a meeting. We didn't have enough rooms, so we've made several rooms, and that's what we did with this space.
We've done a complete improvement on the smoke and fire alarm system. This is an example where this door wasn't here, it was physically moved about 15 inches in order to meet with the code. This here, and the emergency lighting and smoke alarms that are set, there was almost 100 of them between this building and the daycare that was set next door. And the team was here for many months calibrating, installing, reinstalling, testing. Magnetic things with releases, special weird kind of angle in order for us to work. And the whole thing will automatically shut when there's a fire.
We had a bathroom up here, and most of the men actually knew there was a bathroom. It's limited by the size that it was, so all we were really able to do was modernize it, clean it up. So now we're entering the sanctuary level of the synagogue. The main thing that we did on this level is we redid both the men's and ladies' washrooms. And I'm proud to say that prior to that, we had no handicap washrooms, and now each of them are handicap washrooms. This is the men's old washroom, and it's now a storage room. So we can always use storage. The men's washroom is now on the other side. I think this used to be the bride's room. So it's no longer the bride's room, but we've now made it into, got 2 sinks and 2 stalls, of which one of them is, ta-da, nice big handicap stall. Put in a couple of new water fountains. You know, we used to have a private bathroom for the brides, which we took out, and we now have, this is the woman's washroom. There's, again, 3 sinks this time. You can see the bars and to help people who need it. The new bride's room. Again, we moved it from across the hall. There's no washroom, but the washroom here is quite close. We'll have to furnish it and, clean it, dress it up, but and hopefully we'll get some weddings, because one thing we've been lacking is weddings.
This is the non-pretty side of things, but as the functional side of things, is the blood and guts of the wiring, cabling, etc. have been redone and electrical, so that we will be able to be buying a new board, state of the art. So completely different. This one hasn't been working for a few years, so we really needed to upgrade it.
We put in a new system here. We've had, if you look on the wall here, we're installing the wiring to put in a state-of-the-art camera so that we can live stream from the small chapel, and you'll see later we're also going to live stream from the main sanctuary.
So that we're having online services, what we've done is made sure that we aren't going to be dependent upon lousy cameras and I can't hear you and can you mute yourself and echoes and etc. So we've just in the process of doing a permanent installation of cameras to outfit our main sanctuary and chapel, that we'll be able to live stream 365 days a year. The same equipment will be augmented during the high holidays with additional cameras and staff to operate that, so that we ensure an impeccable experience. And this is pretty cool because it just came in yesterday. That was just set up. This will be a control area, and cabling has been strewn throughout the building. It's quite complex. This camera is a permanent piece of equipment that will be featured in the main sanctuary. We will be augmenting this camera with additional cameras on either side if we wish. But this camera and one in the chapel will be available 365 days a year, so that we will be able to broadcast any service, any ceremony, bris, wedding, bar, bat mitzvah. It's really very cool, and we see this as a fantastic opportunity to really reach out to our water community and to people who are unable to be here for a variety of reasons. So we're in the electrical room of the building, one of them actually, and this is probably not the sexy part of the renovation, but it's the blood and guts of how things have to function and to get done. And I want to just draw your eye to something that one would never pay attention to. This here is a series of pipes or conduit that runs inside the building, outside the building, into the back, all through the bowels of the building, through every single level, in order for our cabling to be able to communicate. We've been set up here now, and the renovation was quite extensive, so that not only have we the capability for the audio-visual web internet streaming, but we've also been preparing for a brand new security system that will be throughout the entire building. It's a very complex system, and it involves all kinds of work, something we're very, very proud of, and to make sure that we are being preemptive. One of the main rooms for central for our HVAC system. In the project with the Federation for the security, we have this conduit run here. We have 3 of these that feed through the entire building. One of them has now been used for the AV, for the audio visual that feeds to that upstairs control room. Then we have 2 that are ready to go when we do the installation for the security system.
You won't be seeing the security system, but it's going to be all over the building. There'll be multiple cameras, multiple doors, if not tens of thousands, and could even go into the 100+ thousand. So it's a very expensive thing, but for our well-being in today's world, we felt it was the right thing to do.
We've taken this quite seriously, and it's something that we're very proud of. As Ben mentioned, that we've aligned ourselves with Federation. This is something that Montreal can be very proud of, because Montreal has taken a leadership position and is now, we're part of 44 Jewish institutions across the city. So synagogues, schools, community centers, hospital, that will all be centrally monitored. So beyond physical equipment, so door latches, locks, films on windows, lockdown spaces, etc. There's also a whole series of protocols. We have a security team that we put in place now. There's 8 people, members of that, including the Federation, have come to us for training about 3 or 4 times already. Very, very thick manual as to what we do in situation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, very comprehensive. They've done full analysis of every space in our building. And this is something that, I guess it'll be behind the scenes, but to ensure that we've got a proactive position within the Montreal community.
This hall is the lounge outside of the Solitano Hall, and we use this quite often for baby namings, brisses, smaller celebrations that hold like 60 or 70 people, and we've had some air circulation issues, so in order to make the air circulate better and to make it a little bit more comfortable, we put in 2 wall air conditioners.
So this is the library that was installed and redone approximately 10 years ago. What most of you have no idea about is that after the library, there was a dead space. At one time, it would have been a superintendent's apartment. But this space was completely unutilized. And we've now got what will be a space for a conference room, a meeting room that's private, etc. So all of the wiring has been set up here with cupboards and I guess the new installation of an air conditioning heating system. So here's a central electrical area of the building, and you can see when we have things that have been completely updated and brought to order. And as we mentioned, that we have this conduit that runs from the basement. Well, this goes through every level of the building to allow cabling to be wired. Well, it's a whole behind the scenes kind of thing, but very comforting to know that this has been done so well. Really a first-class team. We are in the stairway on the east side of the building, coming off the sanctuary level, and we've now added in a new emergency exit that leads onto Chester. So this was never here before, so this is absolutely brand new and brings everything completely up to code. So new walkway, new doorway.
And we're ready. So hopefully in the near future, people will feel comfortable and start to join us. We do have services in the chapel Monday and Thursdays at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you're welcome to join us.